I have something I think could help the Eagles offense grow. As we look forward to this game on Sunday against the Rams, and it's a big one. It is a big early season game. Rams 2-0, Eagles 2-0. Who knows? Tiebreakers, home field. Who knows what this game's going to mean down the line? But it's a big one for this particular week. And you started there by saying how you're, what are you calling it? Your evolution phase, growth phase?
Yes, growth phase.
Well, I want Jalen Hurts
evolutionary.
to get it. Yeah, okay. I'm interested in Jalen Hurts' growth phase and his evolutionary phase and the growth of this passing game. And, Hugh, I have a message for Jalen Hurts. I have a message for the Eagles offense, and I have kind of just a plea or something I want them to do. I want him to do. Because I heard him yesterday, his press conference, he talked about protecting the football, and, he kind of was taking accountability for the offense needing to be better, but he also, talked about the standard and what they need to be, right? And I was watching him yesterday and thinking about the game and thinking about the way he's played the first 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
And I appreciate that Jalen Hurts over the last, 20 games or so? I mean, it's a long time. It's the beginning. It's the beginning of last October through now, which includes the postseason. He has become one of the best quarterbacks in pro football at protecting the football. Jalen Hurts does not turn the football over.
No, he does not.
He was very good at it early in his career. He had a blip in 23 where he started to turn the ball over. And then since, I would say, the beginning of last October, he's been excellent at protecting the football. But sometimes when you're risk-averse, I think you go a little too far. Yeah, I think you go a little too far. There's that fine line between not taking risks and not trying to make something happen and maybe going too far, being too conservative. And I think we've gotten there with Jalen Hurts and the Eagles offense. I'm going to give you a couple of statistics. One is good, one is not good. Let's start with the good one. Jalen Hurts, so far this season, through 2 games, has the 3rd best turnover-worthy play rate in the NFL, which means he's very rarely making a play that you say that could have been a turnover. Very rarely putting the ball in harm's way. That's great. He also has the lowest depth of target of his career. He's throwing the ball 6 yards a pop. I mean, that on average, 6 yards a pop. That includes a bomb to Dotson in week 1. I mean, these are dink and dunk, and there's no teeth to this passing game right now. Hugh, I'm at the point where I think it is time for Jalen Hurts to take a few more risks in the passing game. And I understand what that means. That means putting the ball potentially in harm's way. It means giving your guys a chance to make a one-on-one play, and sometimes one-on-one plays go the wrong way. I get how it works. But I think we've gone too far in one direction, and I think it's actually kind of hampering the passing game because defenses know they're not going to take risks, and I think it's making the run game harder because everyone's coming up in the box. I wish Jalen Hurts take more chance in the passing game. Give these guys a chance to make plays. Hugh, what's your feeling on it as Jalen Hurts continues to take care of the football, but the passing game seems to get worse while that happens?
You know what? When you were talking, Joe, I was thinking about this saying, you heard the saying, slow money is better than no money. Mm-hmm. And that what kind of comes to mind when I think about this offense and Jalen Hurts. Now, I'm a firm believer in you have to take what the defense gives you, I should say. You have to take what the defense gives you. And I think in the last 2 games, that has been the story. Unfortunately for Jalen, the numbers don't bear out what other quarterbacks have, had success in over the last couple of weeks in the NFL. But you're 2-0, and you found ways to win games. Now, I say all that to say that I feel like this weekend, the effort that you put together in those last 2 games is probably not going to be enough to beat the Rams, knowing what we know about them. The receivers that they have there and how they like to throw the ball all over the schoolyard. With that being said, I want Jalen to do what Jalen's able to do, but I don't want him to do it at the risk of putting the ball in harm's way.
Yeah, but do you think sometimes you go too far with it? Like, if there's a play to be made, trust your receiver, trust your arm, make a play.
There's that, and there are guys that have been made a living and are comfortable with throwing picks like that. Brett Favre is a guy that comes to mind immediately. Brett Favre threw a lot of picks, but he also made a lot of big plays.
It's almost like the net, right? Like, is it worth it? And I understand why Jalen's gone this way. It's helped the team win a lot of football games because they leaned on that defense, the running game last year. Hugh, I just keep wondering if he in his head has gone too far. Like, I can't take a chance. But sometimes if you don't take any chances, you don't actually make any big plays.
Mm-hmm. I think what has happened is this, and I don't know Jalen well enough to make this assessment, but I think I know his character a little bit. He does enough to win the game, and when you look at the last 2 games, it feels like even though there weren't a whole lot of big plays, that he did just enough to win the game. I know that sounds kind of crazy, but I think if the game dictated the fact, like say if if Patrick Mahomes and those guys would have scored on that interception where Travis dropped the ball and the Eagles defense comes, or the Eagles offense comes out and they sputter on that drive and they get behind, then I think the passing game would have ramped up a little bit.
Well, I think it would have had to. They would have no choice.
Because you have no choice.
Yeah.
Like, I think the way this game is going to go, we kind of know what the Rams are going to be. We know they're going to throw the football.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what I mean? So I don't think the way that we've operated in the last couple of weeks is going to help us win this game.
Yeah, the Rams through 2 games are throwing the ball for 271 yards a game.
You see what I'm saying?
They're going to throw the ball.
They're going to throw the ball. They're going to throw the ball. And conventional wisdom tells you that throwing the ball, you score quicker than you do running the ball. And we've been pretty successful running the ball. I think in the last couple of weeks, we're just maybe a hair under 300 yards. You know, when you talk about the 80-something yards we had, we're probably like 270, something like that.
Yep.
But the point is, that's not going to help us win this game. So you're going to have to put the ball in there.
215-592-9494. Look, the Eagles have won a lot this particular way for a long period of time now. But I'm thinking and I'm believing that we've gone a little bit too far to start this year. Again, last year, Jalen did take some shots down the field. He did. Now, this year, it's been just the one. And I'm starting to wonder if Jalen has almost convinced himself he can't take a risk. I'm here to say you can. You have 2 great receivers on the outside. Give them a shot to make a play. Through 2 games, Jalen Hurts has 0 touchdown passes. And I think that's more of an indictment on the way he's playing rather than his ability. He has the ability to throw touchdowns.
Yes, he does.
His ability to move we've seen it many times in the last 5-6 years. He has the ability to throw the ball down the field. I think it's more in his head than it is in his arm right now. And the Eagles are the first team since 2000 to start off a season 2-0 without a single touchdown pass. It doesn't feel sustainable to me the way they're running the offense right now. Jalen Hurts, take some more risks. Let's do it. 215-592-9494. Do you want Jalen Hurts and the Eagles passing game to take more chances here and throw the ball a little bit? I wouldn't even call it harm's way, but just give your guys a shot to make a play. Kyle, where do you come down as the Eagles and Jalen Hurts are very risk-averse, but there's also no big plays coming right now?
Yeah, it's gone way too far. Like, we're at a point where the offense, or the passing offense at least, is like, it's almost like cowardly. Why does throwing the ball down the field automatically have to equate to throwing interceptions?
It doesn't.
Like, let's talk about some of the guys who everybody all offseason told me that Jalen Hurts is on par with.
Here we go.
And what they're throwing. Lamar last year, 4,000 yards, 4 interceptions, throwing the ball down the field. Joe Burrow, about almost 5,000 yards, 9 interceptions. Josh Allen, 3,700 yards, 6 interceptions. Like, throwing the ball down the field doesn't necessarily have to mean that you're going to turn the ball over. Like, if we have confidence in Jalen Hurts to move the ball and throw the ball like these other guys, then it should be okay getting the ball on the field. Like, by the way, we have A.J. Brown and Devontae who, when they're one-on-one, like, they can win those one-on-one matchups. And, I mean, God forbid, if you do get a turnover, guess what else we have? A great defense. It's not all of a sudden going to mean that we're getting 7 points put on our head. Like, it's okay. We've gone way too far with the not turn the ball over thing. Like, and the offense just become boring. And I understand that we're 2-0. It's not a news flash to me or anybody else. We do know before everyone starts saying, guess what, they're 2-0. I get it. But, like, I just don't view this, what we're doing right now, as a sustainable way for us to keep winning down the stretch. I just don't.
Let me ask you guys a question. And I think Kyle's right on that. It's not sustainable this way. So, they have made a living around here, Hugh, and not turn the football over and winning when they win the turnover differential. And I totally think that that should always be the goal, not to turn the football over and to create turnovers to win that battle. Let me give you a couple stats on the 2 teams we're going to see this weekend. So we talk about Matthew Stafford, right? They're going to throw the football. So far this season, Matthew Stafford has 1 pick. He's thrown 1 pick over the first 2 games. Jalen has 0. So they've got 1 interception. We've got none. But the Rams' passing game has generated 11 pass plays of 20 or more yards. You know how many we have? 2. I would, to get to 9 more 20-plus yard passing plays, I would trade a pick for that. I would trade an interception to get 9 more throws 20-plus yards down the field. That's how you would get points. That's how you get into scoring territory. I would trade that. 215-592-9494. Where do you come down on this? Do you want the Eagles passing game to take more chances? It has become very risk-averse. Jalen Hurts has the lowest depth of target of his entire career, and we know he throws a good deep ball. Let it rip. That's where I come down. Kyle is with me. Hugh, I mean, it almost sounds like Hugh's kind of cowardly on this. Doesn't want to take any... Yeah, I mean...
Cowardly?
You don't want to take any chances.
No. Here we
Come
go.
on!
It's not that. It's
kind of
that
is. Risk-averse, Hugh.
Do what you can do. Now, when I say that this week, I think that when you look at the game plan, you look at what the Kansas City Chiefs tried to do last week.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, they're coming after Jalen. Guns are blazing. Like, they're going to blitz him quite a bit. They have the defensive line to get the job done.
Absolutely.
And they're a little salty because in the first game against the Eagles last year in L.A., they got manhandled a little bit. They came back and they played better. Didn't get the win, but they played better. They feel like they're right there. The Rams team feels like, you know, they're probably the biggest threat to the Eagles. Well, they are because it's the weekend game, you know, but still. They're a big threat to the Eagles, and they like the matchup. They like it a lot.
Well, I'm sure they do. And guess what they're going to do? They're going to throw the football on Sunday.
They're gonna throw it all over
I want
the
the Eagles to take some more chances.